What is up, Watch fam? I'm Anna from Theo and Harris, and today the T&H team crashed the London Jewelers East Hampton boutique, which is gorgeous, by the way. And with the help of our friend Zach, we snatched some of our favorite watches from their showcases. We started with a few pieces and ended up with $1 million. Go figure. So here's what $1 million looks like in under 10 minutes. It's hard to not start with Patek Philippe, and when we were walking through the boutique, the 5130 world time in rose jumped right out. It's rather uncommon to see non-Nautilus Pateks on bracelets, and this one is so well done. Weight aside, the form is wonderful. Its links could seem traditional and slightly uninventive, but they're actually fairly nuanced and unique to Patek. The chocolate dial is great. It has a deep and less decorated center than the 5230, which features 6 rings of different guilloche patterns. And while that's certainly still a great piece, I find this one cleaner. It retails around $67,000. Next are two very different Patek Perpetuals. The first is the 5327. It's a direct descendant of the 3940. It's powered by the same movement too, the 240Q. The dial color is really interesting. Ivory, creamy, you can definitely tell it's not white, but it's really, really subtle. And then the 5940, a descendant of the 5040, which they launched in 1992 as the first tonneau perpetual. The case is terrific, and at 37 by 46 millimeters, it actually wears larger than its dimensions would make you think. But at 8.5 millimeters thick, this is actually very sleek. It's a really special watch. Now, both of these are just at or under 90,000. Now, just one more from Patek, which is actually my personal favorite of the bunch, which I was not expecting. It's an annual calendar, reference 5147G, with a beautiful diamond bezel. I mean, it's really remarkable. Although it is technically a ladies' watch, I think that because the diamonds are so relatively conservative on the bezel that it actually wouldn't be ridiculous to appeal to men either. While it's certainly not cheap, it packs a ton of value. I am a huge fan of this watch. I really didn't expect it to be that way. It's just the way that it catches you in person. It's really refined. Obviously, it's a bit gaudy, but it's so well done. Because it's an annual calendar, it does not keep count for every 4 years, February having a 29th day, but honestly, it's not really a deal breaker for me. Now let's move into a more approachable bracket, sub $6,000. Before we get into some more serious heavy hitters, it's probably best to take a breather on Earth. The IWC's Petit Prince chronograph, which retails for $5,250, and their Mark 18, which retails at $4,150. These watches are really some of the best bang for the buck on the market, but I just think that they're a really smart sizing, and because of the complexities of one dial and the simplicity of the other, I think they're sized perfectly and they're proportioned really well. These ones come with great Santoni straps, and this is a blue dial and this one is black, and they both look absolutely phenomenal in all types of lighting. Honestly, I think this Mark 18 is one of my favorite watches. I think it's perfectly done. London Jewelers is actually hosting an event with IWC at this East Hampton boutique on August 10th. The Theo and Harris team will be attending. Yes, that means Rolly will be there. We would love to meet you all out here, whether you're already on Long Island or you can make the drive. Drop us a line. We'd love to know that you're coming, and it's gonna be a blast. And now Blancpain. While they certainly do have a dressier side, we tend to gravitate towards this model. It's the 50 Fathoms. A watch that dates back to the 1950s, actually the same Basel World Fair that Zodiac released their Seawolf at. This example is in blue, and I think its sapphire bezel is great. The way it's finished really does replicate a classic backlight bezel, which is super cool. This watch is valued at $15,000. And now Rolex. First is two 40mm day dates, one in yellow gold and one in rose gold. If you haven't had the chance to hold these two side by side and really see the differences, you really should find a boutique and do it. There are just subtleties that you don't get in photos, and you really just have to see them in the metal. Both are flashy, of course, but you'd actually be surprised that they have very different personalities, and that's another $72,000 for the pair. And how about this, a yellow gold Rolex Daytona? It's a classic, it's beefy, it's gaudy, it's got everything, and it's around $35,000. Now the next one I think is really interesting. It's a Rolex Yachtmaster in rose gold on an oyster flex. It has a matte black dial, a matching bezel, a rose oyster case, and matching rose print. To me, this is the first Yachtmaster to really make sense. It serves a purpose and it's distinct in the Rolex family. For $25,000, I think this is actually a really interesting piece to go with. It's certainly unique, and I just think there's something about the rose and the matte black that really, really works. I think it's great. All right, geeks, we still have over $500,000 left to fill, and we could fill it with Patek and Rolex and maybe even some of Cartier's newest releases. You know at Theo and Harris, we love a good tank, but we're gonna do something different. Diamonds. Now, I wear a pull router every day. Diamonds aren't typically my thing. In fact, they're probably more Christian's thing than mine, but hey, we're in the Hamptons and it's all about luxury, so I figured it was fitting. This is a 10.03 carat radiant cut stone with an FSI 1 clarity. And it's the only diamond we need because it's actually valued at $650,000. I'm gonna now put it back carefully. That brings us to a grand total of $1 million and change. The bottom line is London Jewelers is a wonderland. Their East Hampton boutique, which is one of 6 New York locations, is gorgeous and it's a must-see. And we would love to see you guys at the event that they're hosting here in August, so please let us know if you can come. We can't wait to see you guys and meet everyone and hang out in a gorgeous location. It's gonna be a ton of fun. Huge thanks to London Jewelers again for helping us make this video possible. If you guys have any questions about any of these watches or diamonds or any watches from big brands like Rolex and AP and Patek and Cartier, email them, their info is down below, and they would be super happy to talk to you guys and geek out. If you like this video and want to see more like it, give it a thumbs up down below, and thank you so much for watching. We will see you Wednesday. Oh my God. Now how about this? Now how about this? How about this one? Now how about a classic? How about this one? A rare, cut stone with an FSI radiant cut, oh my God, 10.03. And finally, so we have about, nope, wow. Okay.